Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's episode is all about the brand new Kevyn Aucoin concealer, which is called the Etherealist Supernatural Concealer. I purchased it off of Beautylish.com and I got the shade Light EC02. This is what the tube looks like. I'm really excited to give this a shot. It comes in 9 shades, and then one is like a corrector shade, which I was tempted to get, but I decided to just go straight for the skin tone color here. And did I say it's $30? I don't know if I mentioned that. So what I'm going to do is put it on in front of the camera so you guys can see that I try like a couple different application techniques, like with a sponge, a brush, etc., etc. And then I'm going to do a couple of check-ins, very much like my foundation review video. So I'll do like a midday check-in and then I'll do a final check-in around dinner time, just to kind of show you, how the concealer wears during the day and my thoughts and how it feels and things like that. So if you're interested in finding out more about this brand new concealer from Kevyn Aucoin, then just keep on watching. All right, so I am all sort of prepped to put on the concealer. I have primer and foundation on. So again, I've got the Kevyn Aucoin brand new, the Etherealist Supernatural Concealer, and I got it in the shade EC02 Light. It looks pretty light in the tube, but I think that may work if I want to do something that's kind of brightening. So I have a sponge here. I also have my favorite concealer brush that I like to use sometimes, and I may just try with my fingers. I think it depends on sort of the texture of the concealer. So we shall see. So I'm just opening it up for the first time now, and it's got kind of like a curved doe foot applicator. I don't know if you can see the curve there. Maybe that's better. And I'm just going to dab a little under the eyes. It feels wet, so it feels thin. Take a look at the color. It's a very warm shade. Like there's a lot of peach in it. So maybe it'll help as a corrector as well. So I'm gonna go in with my Armani concealer brush here. Although I think he calls it something different. I think it's like a foundation brush. I think the shade is actually a very good match. I'm just going to run my fingers over this. It's a little bit tacky. I'm going to use my fingers on the other side here and see how that feels. It's definitely a little bit thicker than the By Terry concealer that I always use. That is a very serum-like kind of thin concealer. So this is tackier. It feels a little thicker, not thick, but thicker. I think the coverage is pretty nice. I'm going to put some on my actual eyelids here and see how it kind of covers up the discoloration that I have here. And I'm going to use the sponge this time and see how that works. I think out of all 3 applications, I like the brush the most. Yeah, I think I like using the brush with this the most. I don't feel like my fingers were doing enough, and then I think the sponge just, I don't know, like the product, it feels like it's just sort of sitting on top of this eyelid, where the brush, I feel like I was able to kind of like work it in a little bit more. So I'm just going to run the brush over this side too. It feels a little bit drier again than what I'm used to, which is the By Terry concealer. It's definitely still tacky, so I feel like I would have to set this down with a powder, but I'm tempted to set one side down with the powder and leave the other side as is, just to see, because I know, as soon as like you start to see a lot of aging under the eyes, the powder can really make it a lot worse, and I really want to see what works best. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to powder this side of my face, which is the right side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this side unpowdered, but I'm going to powder my eyelid just to kind of prep it for eyeshadow. Otherwise, I think the tackiness would really make my eyeshadow patchy. So far on this side, I'm not really seeing any creasing. I'm not seeing any exaggeration of fine lines. I mean, I see my fine lines, but I don't feel like they look very dominant. And on this side, it just looks like it's powdered. versus this side that just doesn't look quite as dry, if you will. So I'll be doing check-ins and I will give you my final thoughts at the end of the day. Hey guys, so it's about 1 o'clock. I thought I would do a check-in. Let me zoom you in here. So this was the side where I used powder. I have to say I'm very happy with this finish. I mean, you can see that my lines here are showing, but you know, what can you do? Those are my lines. But I don't feel like it creased. I don't feel like it's wearing away in a weird sort of patchy way, or kind of, you know how concealer kind of separates and starts to look funky? I don't think it's done that at all. Sorry, my camera's having a hard time focusing. And then here's the side with no powder, and I feel like it has faded definitely more than the side with powder. This is actually just, I think, eyeliner that got smudged down there. But it's not, it didn't crease. I didn't notice any creasing. It also is, I guess you could say, wearing away evenly, really nicely. So far, I am very, very happy with this concealer. I have to say, it is not doing anything super funky, and I don't feel like it's aging under my eyes. So I will be back later today and kind of give you my final thoughts on this. So I will see you then. Hey guys, I am doing my final check-in a little bit early. It is about 4 o'clock. We have some major storms rolling in, and it's just progressively getting darker and darker. So I thought, let me just do it now while you can still see my face. And I thought I would just do it vlog style because I have to get pretty close to my window here for you guys to see anything. So here is the concealer. Like I said, it's 4. I had it on since like 9ish. And oh, like 9:30. It was kind of late today. So it's been about 7.5 hours, and I feel like the concealer looks pretty good under this eye that I powdered. My biggest wrinkle down here is a little bit more pronounced than it was, I think, earlier today when I put it on. But again, I mean, I think that's pretty good for a concealer. I feel like they usually start to look kind of crazy by like mid-afternoon if I put it on in the morning. And this side is the side that I didn't powder, and I almost feel like I don't even feel anything under this eye. I think it's completely worn away at this point, and you can even see the difference between my eyes. I mean, this is kind of smudged eyeliner, which I didn't really want to wipe away too much because I didn't want to wipe away the concealer, but you can see that there's very little coverage. You can kind of see all my imperfections there and everything, but all in all, I think this is a pretty decent concealer, I have to say. So in terms of expectations, I really didn't have any because I didn't really know much about this concealer before purchasing it, before putting it on. I really just wanted to kind of feel like what I think of it before reading what the company wants me to think of it. Anyway, so I think it's fairly lightweight, but my By Terry Denseless concealer that I'm used to wearing is definitely lighter weight because that's like a serum concealer. I feel like the coverage is pretty good. It's not like spackle, it's not like Shape Tape or anything like that. So I think it's definitely like a light to medium concealer, and I feel like it's very, very comfortable. I feel like it is more on the liquidy versus the pasty side. So those are my thoughts on it, but I do just want to read the box to let you know what the company's claims are. And this is a high performance. It is lightweight, which I can agree with. Packs a punch with a unique blend of complexion brightening pearls, high definition pigments, hyaluronic acid, and natural antioxidants. 3D silicone film formers create a smooth canvas for even application. The silky medium coverage formula was developed to give optimal playtime to blend, correct contour, and perfect skin seamlessly. I do pretty much agree with those things. I do think it's like I said, like a light to medium coverage. I think it did blend out very, very easily, as you guys saw. My favorite definitely was the brush, the Giorgio Armani brush that I used versus the sponge and versus my finger. And yeah, and I think it really does give like a nice sort of like it says, like a film under my eyes. But I think, like you've witnessed, I would definitely use a powder to set the concealer. So those are my final thoughts. I think if you're interested in giving this a shot, I don't think you'll be disappointed. I think this was definitely money well spent. So thank you, Kevyn Aucoin, for a lovely concealer option, which I think is very hard to find. There aren't many that I've come across that I would use confidently. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Pardon this very casual vlog style finale. I usually like to sit down and give you more formal wrap up, but I don't know if you've noticed, but it is already getting dark and the wind has really picked up. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please comment down below if you've tried this concealer, or if you are interested and you have more questions, please ask away. I'm sure I always forget to say something in these videos. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and I will see you in my next video.